Hey, welcome to the Hobby Shop. I'm Philip.
Don?
Rob?
This week we're going to be taking a look at, well, video games. Nothing particularly, like usual.
Yeah.
We're just going to look at video games. I'm just going to start out with this. Earliest video game you can remember. I know you've said it before.
Yeah, I said it on the sci-fi.
Yeah,
I already
that's
said it.
and excuse the barking dogs. Yeah, you said it was Star Fox, right?
Yes.
What about you?
Mine was either Mortal Kombat or Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
For me, it would be like Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo. Either Ninja Turtles. Well, actually, when I got my Nintendo when I was like 5, I had a whole lot of games. So, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Contra, Skate or Die, just all the typical games.
Yeah, I think I've only had probably like 4 games on a Nintendo 64.
64, I've mostly played just Donkey Kong 64 and GoldenEye.
Yeah, I didn't play GoldenEye. I just played Smash Bros, Donkey Kong, and Star Fox. Really.
Star Fox is a game I've never played. I've never played a Star Fox game.
Hmm.
I've heard that it's one of the original Star Fox is one of the greatest games of all time. I've just never played it.
Well, it's for its time. For its time. I won't say like of all time. No, for that time, yeah, it was actually really good.
I mean, and what was impressive with it was 3D graphics on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, which was actually pretty interesting, even though it was polygons, but it was still an advancement.
Yeah, it was. You didn't see anything like that back then. This was still during the era of pixels.
Yeah, we had pixels, only 2-dimensional games.
It wasn't until I think 95 or 96 where we started to see the polygons.
Yeah.
Or not the polygons. What am I thinking of?
No, that's the polygon era around that time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's when me and Rob really just grew up on video games. We weren't really the pixel era. We were the polygon era.
Well, it's just I got into games late. Anytime I got a console, it was after everybody else already stopped playing it.
Oh.
So I got a Nintendo when everybody was all about PlayStation and 64. I got a Sega Genesis, same era. People weren't interested in the PlayStation.
Yeah, fads. Things come and go quickly.
I eventually got a Nintendo 64. But, that was just because my friend had it, and he just got tired of coming to my house and not being able to play in 64.
Okay.
He got tired of bringing the system over.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
What we mostly played was Pokemon Stadium of all things.
Huh.
And I'm not a Pokemon fan, but I enjoyed the Pokemon Stadium games.
I always got like the party games. We use the Mario Party, and Smash Bros.
I played a little bit of Mario Party, but one thing I did learn is you can lose friends over Mario Party.
I never really played with people, so I never really get that.
That's sad.
Yeah.
It's a party game. You have to have a party.
Yeah, I just
Like
played with
4
bots.
people.
I was lonely. I was a lonely
Oh
kid.
God. Oh well, same way. The reason why I never got into Halo was because I had nobody to play with, and I didn't have an internet connection on my Xbox or anything like that, so I didn't play online.
Yeah, that's usually the problem with like a lot of multiplayer games. They just tend to be always focused, on multiplayer, and it never comes to mind like, oh, some of us don't have friends.
Well, one thing I do miss in games is having the ability to play a co-op on one system, not playing multiplayer, just like split screen cooperative.
Yeah.
Versus or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and even now, like I haven't really been able to play split screen like on Halo 4. I think really due to like the graphic ramps, it's nearly impossible. Actually, no, it's the rendering for it. It was impossible to play split screen.
It's funny to think how far gaming has gone, and how relevant it's actually became in culture. I mean, it's always been relevant. I mean, Mario was like everywhere. In the
Oh yeah,
90s.
like when he first popped up, he was big, and kids right after that were like, "Who's Mario?" They could easily just point him out.
Yeah.
He was the most known character of that time.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that movie. I'll get back to what we were saying, but it kind of reminds me of that movie, Super Size Me, That one guy who ate like McDonald's for 30 days.
Yeah, when he brought the cards out to the kids. and
Yeah,
they were
and
like,
he
who's
showed-
this?
Yeah.
And then they knew who Ronald McDonald was.
Yeah, they knew who Ronald McDonald was, but they didn't know who the president was. They didn't know. He shows them a picture of Jesus.
Who's this? I don't know.
But yeah, you show a picture of Mario to a kid, they'll instantly know who that is. Even to this day.
Yeah.
Even though Nintendo is kind of became a non-entity.
Kind of becoming more like a junk bond.
Yeah,
They're losing a lot of money.
I think it's sad that they are now the Sega.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
the
now-
laughing stock now.
Yeah, they're now the Sega.
You know, even the fans, they still look back at it, and the hardcore ones still are like, oh man, Nintendo's not dead. You don't understand. They're gonna come. It's like, open your eyes.
There's guys like on Video Games Awesome. Fraser, the host of the show, he is a Nintendo maniac. He loves Nintendo because he grew up on it. But even he's willing to admit that they are basically a non-entity. That they don't really have any. Nintendo doesn't really come into the conversation anymore.
Yeah, they used to be always like when the go-to game thing,
Yeah.
but now
I mean, it was Atari, then it was Nintendo, and
Yeah.
now it's Sony and Microsoft.
yeah, they just they got to get with the times.
Now that's not to say that they don't make any good games, because I finally got to play a little bit. I didn't rent the game, and then I had no. But I did get to play a little bit of Skyward Sword at a
Mhm.
friend's house, and that game's actually pretty solid. It's kind of dependent on the nunchuck, and I fucking hate the nunchuck.
Yeah, they really should have gave me the option to choose between controller or the because when you I couldn't play what was it? What was the other one on the Wii? I forgot what it was. Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
I couldn't play it because I was like, it's a Legend of Zelda game, but I don't want to play it like this.
Yeah,
I
I
wanna
think
play
you
it with-
could use a controller though for that game. I think you were able to use a GameCube controller.
I think that's if you had the GameCube, because there was a GameCube version,
Yeah.
but I had the Wii
That's-
version.
Oh.
Yeah, there was two versions. It got put on the Wii. I mean, not the Wii. You got put on the GameCube. As, I think like the last game for it.
Now, do you think that? What do you think of video games at this point? At this point, like where we're at now, like, do you think we're in like kind of a good boom period, or are we just like stagnated?
I'm gonna let Robert go first.
Stagnant. Most games have been the same through the past probably 6 years because they haven't really tried anything new. They just wanted to keep reprinting a sequel
Well,
to get money off of the sequel.
the big
People
titles.
buy them.
The big titles are
Not just big titles. They do it with almost every game now. There's plenty of games that are hitting the double digits in sequels, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
The Call of
It doesn't.
Duty,
It doesn't.
Assassin's
Not,
Creed,
not even no. There's even more.
Sonic.
It's crazy.
Madden.
It should.
Mario,
It shouldn't even be
Link.
near there.
I mean, if they
Yeah.
had numbers, they surpass.
Well,
Like, if you're a fan of the game, just stick with the one game that you know you like. Don't keep buying the same shit. You're like getting one update, which they shouldn't even be allowed to do.
yeah, I think it's insane that Madden has been allowed to get away with what they've been doing for the last almost 10 years, basically packaging the exact same game over and over again.
Yep.
Just
Well, I mean-
slightly updated graphics, slightly updated roster, and that's it.
I mean, yeah, you can blame the company, but you also have to blame the consumer.
Yeah,
You
well,
have to
yeah,
blame
they
the
keep
root.
buying it.
Yeah.
And I understand the perspective of like a football fan who wants to buy the Madden games. They want the updated roster. They want to play as their favorite team. They want to play as their favorite player. Because I'm a big fan of the WWE 2K games, or whatever you want to call them. They're now 2K, but they used to be done by THQ.
Hmm.
But I'm a big fan of those games. But here's the difference between the WWE games and the Madden games. They actually progress. They actually do different things. They actually, you can actually tell the difference between one game and the next game. Like, you look at WWE 13 and look at WWE 2K14. They're in many ways are different games. I mean, the core concept is still there, but there's a lot more a lot more to the next game than there is the previous game. There is a growth in the game.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much like a fighting game where you pretty much you basically, I guess we would say new characters or so, but it's still, at the core, you're still playing the same thing.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just it's slightly different.
I'm just saying that I can sympathize with a lot of those like sports fans who play these games, stuff like that. Why I like the WWE games is just basically a lot of it is about creationism and creating your own stories, creating your own rosters, and creating your own titles, your own wrestlers, your own arenas, uploading them online and all that. That's kind of what the identity of the WWE games has become. That's not a new concept. Plenty of games do this, including Madden. But to be honest, Madden hasn't done anything with customization in years. It's just the same shit from 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting that a lot of games now are allowing customization. Limited as is, it's still pretty interesting.
As much as I do not like the Saint Row games after 2, they've gotten insane with the customization.
Yeah, you would usually spend an hour. Same with like Skyrim with customization. Like,
see, if you're going to do customization, have it be in depth like that.
yeah,
Because I've seen people make like celebrities on Mass Effect. Now
Yeah.
I want to play as Bruce Campbell on Mass Effect or Samuel L. Jackson. Because you literally can make them.
yeah, it's pretty cool how much the customization slider actually now has gotten a lot creative compared to back then where you're just only the customization was a selected group.
Yeah. Now going back to sports games for a second, I love the aspect of face scan technology where you can scan your face and basically put yourself in the game.
Well, that's actually really interesting.
2K's been doing that on their NBA games and they're on their soccer games. Or I think it was 2K. I think 2K does soccer. I could be wrong, but 2K in their basketball in their NBA games, they've been using face scan technology to basically put yourself in the game. Fight Night did that. I can't remember which Fight Night, but Fight Night did that once, where you can you had to take like two or three pictures of your face and have it uploaded into the game, and then you can make yourself. So.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And now hopefully, with WWE 2K15 being delayed, hopefully they're working on that, like to add that to the system, because that would be friggin' cool. And it'll also help with making making wrestlers. It would help with making wrestlers. God, I repeated that like 4 times. But it would help making older wrestlers. Like, one of my favorite things to do is reenact pay-per-views from the past. But, not all those guys are going to be in the game. So, you create those guys. This will make that a lot easier. You just get images offline of these wrestlers' faces. Like, like if Steve Austin's not in it, he is in the game, but I'm using him as an example. You just take a front image and a side image, and there you go. You can just scan it, make his face, and there you go.
That's pretty fun.
So yeah, that's why I like those wrestling games so much, is just because of the creative freedom you get with a lot of things. It's still limited in spots. Yeah. I mean, it's nowhere as in depth like as Mass Effect when it comes to creation, but
I still think like probably the best character creation was probably the Saints Row. Probably gave you the most options. But speaking of creativity, there's also Minecraft.
Yeah, which is now part of Microsoft. Power Hitting Players.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, they bought it for $2 billion.
So it's no longer Mojang's.
It's I think Mojang's is still there, but some of the other it was 2-guy team, isn't it?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't really know much about Minecraft.
Well, one producer of the game left, but I think I think Notch is still there. That's the creator of Minecraft.
Yeah.
I didn't really look real deep into it. I just find it amazing that they paid $2 billion for this.
Yeah, that's
It's a lot of money. Considering Microsoft's having money issues.
Yeah, that seems like a very weird. I mean, if you look at Minecraft, it's ridiculously popular. You see it almost everywhere. It's the new Mario.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
you talk to little kids about it, and they're just like, they know Minecraft. You say Minecraft, they know exactly what you're talking
and they're
about.
always better at you at it. They're always better than you at Minecraft.
Yeah, but you know, I honestly I don't have a problem with Minecraft. I just see it kind of as Legos.
Yeah, it's kind of a nostalgia trip for
For
adults,
older
but
people.
For kids, they just
It's-
like building whatever they want.
Yeah, it's their new Legos.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's-
have a box of Legos, but I'm not going to dig them out to play with them. I got Minecraft for that.
Yeah. Which it's pretty funny. I'm surprised Legos had the opportunity to do that. They had the opportunity to make a game just like that,
And
they
they-
didn't.
No, they're too busy making Lego Lord of the Rings and the Lego The Hobbit.
And I bet they're fucking kicking themselves and just saying, "I can't believe we didn't do that."
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know Lego had games. But yeah, they're just shitty movie license.
Yeah, they had the opportunity to be something like Minecraft, and
They passed on it. I remember really like throwing a big hissy over Lego saying that they're going to try the game. Like they were actually going to try it, but people just they threw a big old hissy over it, saying, "Oh, you're ripping off Mojang's. Oh, you're ripping off Notch. Stop.
Yeah,
We don't want."
it's too late. They
Yeah.
had the opportunity, they didn't take the opportunity, failed to seize the moment.
Yeah. In Minecraft, like we said, probably one of the biggest games right now.
Well, man, like the indie, like it started so small.
I gotta ask though, does Call of Duty have its own convention? No, I don't think it
No,
does.
I don't think so.
Halo
Minecon.
doesn't, but Minecraft
Yeah.
does.
Is it called Minecon?
Minecon, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing stuff for yeah.
I get to see footage every year because of Video Games Awesome, because they always do coverage of it, because that's like one of their biggest games on their show. They have guys they have like well over 1,000 people in their servers. They used to have like contests and all that, or they would give them a theme and say, "Hey, build this in a month."
Yeah.
And they would build like the most insane shit you can imagine.
Yeah, now, what's a little curious is about Minecraft is I don't know what really made it 100% popular. I mean, for me, I kind of got bored of it after a little while because I was just like, I could just go draw this or
Yeah.
go do something else. Like it was a limited amount, and it asked for a lot of my time, and I was like, I don't have time.
It is time consuming, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't really have the time to do it. But I think this is why a lot of the younger audience really get into it. They have the time to do it. But even then, like as a game as a whole, like you have survival,
Yeah, correct.
creativity. It's still limited, so I don't understand why it's so big. Besides the amount of hours that can be put into it.
It's just being able to. It's just being able to create whatever you want. You get a big sense of accomplishment when you finish something that's like if you have been working on something and saying like you wanted to recreate the Statue of Liberty to scale. If you finish that, you'll be like, oh my god, I finally finished it.
Yeah, like I've seen the really big, like the really like it's impressive. Don't get me wrong, it's really impressive. But I'm just like,
You don't get the time for it.
yeah, it's like, fuck that. No,
It's hard work. 6 hours.
Yeah, it's insane. But again, looking at Minecraft, I really think they really do owe some of the YouTubers who really put it out there.
Yeah, Video Games Awesome being one of them.
Yeah, because I found out through C-Nanners and
I think Notch is actually a fan of Video Games Awesome, and because he's I think he's even like promoted the show.
That's awesome.
I think I could be wrong.
Uh, because there was only like a few people that were on it, and now every YouTuber's on it.
Yeah.
Like they're just on that hype train so
Like-
much.
Like indie horror games.
Yeah. Like so every YouTube channel practically has like a video of a Minecraft just because of how much it brings in.
What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
It's just money whoring, honestly, from YouTubers.
Yeah.
They want the money. They want the views. That's what they do.
Well, it's like
Minecraft's a guarantee outlet.
Better just be dumb and overreact to a horror game.
Yeah, I honestly cannot stand those videos.
No one can, but
Just,
but some.
and that's
people
pretty
just
sad.
somehow
That's what
enjoy
the
it.
horror genre for games is. It's just you sitting there screaming at a screen and just
well, then
acting.
there's like the actual ones that are legitimately entertaining, that are not faking it. That's probably the reason why I can't stand a lot of them is the faking.
Well, I mean, they yell, they go ah, and you can tell because no one's gonna act like that. You're just gonna be like, oh, like
That's-
at most you're just gonna jump.
No, the only one that is really fun for me to watch is video games. Also coming back to that again, because
You're
they've done
going
it.
on them way too much. Are you dick riding over there?
What? I just like that show. I'm sorry. It's like my favorite show on YouTube. It's probably the only one I watch. The
Yeah.
rest of it is what?
A fuck ton of let's plays, annoying people,
The
more
only
annoying
things
people.
I really look up on YouTube is old cartoon promos and
Oh.
wrestling.
Well, that's time for another subject. Let's stay on video games. for
Yeah. But I don't know. Minecraft is just crazy big, and honestly, I'd rather it be popular than Call of Duty, to be honest.
Yeah, it promotes creativity. As much as a lot of people want to bash on it, I'm
Mhm.
like, it's perfect for kids. It lets
Yeah.
kids express themselves in a I guess express themselves. I don't know if that's really the right word I want to use.
Considering one of the most popular things to do is make a lot of dicks.
Yeah, that says something.
I don't know. I guess it's because it's a lot of
That's
like
the
10-year-olds
American
play. Yeah, a lot of 10-year-olds play it, so there's like just dicks everywhere.
American youth.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not a big Call of Duty fan. I really cannot get into the games anymore. Once it stopped being about like World War II and Vietnam and all that, I just kind of stopped caring.
I never really got that big into the Call of Duty series. I mean, I did like Big Red 1. I did like 2 for the 360. I did enjoy Modern Warfare. Both its multiplayer, but I didn't get into it like Rob did. Rob got into the multiplayer.
Yeah. Then there was World at War, which sort of went back.
Yeah, that's the one I got in
played-
multiplayer.
I have played bits and pieces of all the games. I just never.
But
2
after
was
that,
3 was the last one I bought.
the last one I bought was World at War. Modern Warfare 2 I bought and sold back because it was a piece of trash.
One of the things, though, and kind of the reason why I prefer to play like Minecraft is I can't stand the Call of Duty community. I honestly
Of
cannot.
course.
It's,
They're just a bunch of like dumb jockheads who just
Was
rage
it-
into the microphone whenever they get killed.
Was it like that for the Modern Warfare PC?
For the PC, no, because no one really had microphones, and
Yeah.
if they did, you could just mute them.
Well, I thought the community was actually pretty decent. Or you played on the competitive server, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, so there was some like ragers and shit like that, but they weren't there for long.
no, they did rage. They got
Yeah.
kicked
But
out.
speaking of video game communities, like the most I really enjoyed is Team Fortress. Talk about like a really positive community.
yeah. I have not played a whole lot of it, but I just love just the imagination from who does it? Who does Team Fortress 2?
Valve.
Valve?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love watching like the little promotional stuff. It makes me want to see a show or a movie.
Oh yeah, I really think they could make a cartoon and it would be good.
I mean, like, didn't you tell me the Adult Swim was pitching for a show?
I was hearing about it was a rumor. I wasn't 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
'Cause it was a post I saw on a forum. I mean, what's the
Oh,
believability
okay.
of that? I mean, I even tried looking everywhere and I didn't find any sources, but I wanted to believe. because that would be awesome.
How long are we in? Yeah, Team Fortress. I just love the art style. And we already talked about Team Fortress before when we were talking about video game movies. But yeah, both you and I love the art style. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable.
Honestly, it's probably one of the most enjoyable first-person shooters out there.
Yeah, it's got a good community.
Although
It's free.
Yeah, although the fucking hat thing gets annoying, but whatever.
It's just microtransaction that's on the side. It doesn't give you an advantage.
I mean, if you no, I don't mean that. I mean, like if you go on to the Team Fortress sites and stuff like that, it's just hat.
Well, it's like Monty Python said.
Yeah.
You know what the world's problem is? People are not wearing enough hats. Valve's gonna solve that problem by giving people
Not
hats.
if men with no hats have any say in that. You can wear a hat if you want to, but you can't. I can't even remember. I can't even remember the
safety
words.
dance?
I can't remember the words to safety dance. You can dance if you want to, but you leave your friends behind. If your friends
Don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they ain't no friends of mine.
Now try to translate that into not wearing hats.
Man.
Don't actually do it. Well, let's just move on.
Alright, let's cover a topic. Speaking of Valve, they're like one of the big companies that have not been disappointed. People didn't like Half-Life 2 that much. I thought it was pretty enjoyable.
I enjoyed the hell out of it, to be
Yeah.
honest. I never played the first one. Didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Until the orange box.
Like, Orange Box was a solid game to get into Valve. I've never played any game by them.
Yeah. And isn't that where Portal came from?
I think Portal was its own.
No.
Their own
It,
game.
it came from the orange box.
Was it Orange Box?
It's keep in mind that whole thing was to sell that whole thing was to sell Half-Life 2. But people really got into Portal, really got into Team Fortress.
Yeah, it was a good bundle. You got three good games.
Although Team Fortress 2 I didn't like just because I had no one to play with.
Yeah, you had to have.
And yeah, an internet connection and all that. I didn't know that going in. I was like, oh, what kind of game is this? Because I had never heard of it before. Portal is my favorite game out of the three. And that says something because I fucking love Half-Life 2. It was a great game.
I mean, like Valve never has disappointed me with any of the games. You know, Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, like a lot of their games have yet to disappoint. I mean, you played the Counter Strikes, didn't you?
Yeah,
And
played
you,
all of them.
You enjoyed them, right?
Yeah.
Like, talk about a company that, you know, I never get disappointed in.
Yeah, I didn't know if Valve did Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, they did.
Wow. I never could get into Left 4 Dead. It just, whenever I saw somebody playing it, it just looked like a giant clusterfuck.
It's definitely a game to play, and definitely to play with Versus, and it's like Borderlands. You gotta have friends to enjoy it.
Yes, what's your favorite first-person shooter? And I'm asking both of y'all.
My go-to?
Yeah.
It used to be Halo 2, back when the Xbox, and it's pretty sad to see that they shut down the servers. It is getting is it a remastered is what they're calling
Yeah,
it?
the remaster.
Yeah, there's Halo 2 being remastered, but it's on the Xbox One, and I don't want to buy another console for one game. I mean, I loved it.
I mean, it would be like me with Metal Gear Solid 4 in the PlayStation 3. I'm not going to buy a $600 console just for one game.
Yeah, like, I hate these really limited stuff, because it's a low kick. You know, and you really, really want to get it, but
I've never liked the idea of exclusive games. It just seems kind of like a fuck you to the gamers.
yeah, it's a very low blow.
I mean, I get it. They want to play hardball with the competition. It's like, oh, you're not going to get this game on this console.
But-
Come buy our console.
Yeah, but you know, you're hurting the consumers.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
it just would be a lot easier just
We'll
that.
save that for a bit because we still haven't talked about our go-to FPSs yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Before we ramble on to that,
Yeah, let's finish that.
yeah,
You were saying?
I'll say it would be Halo 2 when I was younger, but since the servers are gone and it's a dead game, I'd have to say Team Fortress.
I'm probably gonna go with Counter Strike.
Which one?
I don't play Counter Strike.
I'll go with Global Offensive.
I I can't help it. I gotta go old school. GoldenEye.
Hey, if you had friends, I heard it was really fun.
Yeah, the story wasn't that great, but
Huh.
and you know, there's gonna be somebody like telling me I'm an idiot and I don't know anything because it's the plot to the movie GoldenEye, which I've never seen. So
Okay.
the game's my introduction into that movie. I'm not a big James Bond fan. I mean, From Russia with Love's an awesome movie, but that's besides the point. But yeah, GoldenEye, it was just a lot of fun. You know, it was very impressive looking too at the time. I think that's where we're gonna, you know,
Stop for now.
stop for now. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.